with this it's a relatively new release, The Ugly Truth. It stars Katherine Heigl and Gerard Butler, who I think in real life is dating Jennifer Aniston. Just a little tidbit for the fans
today.
for the fans out there.
Next week it won't be.
She's a TV producer. She produces mostly the news. And she's looking, of course, like most gals, for the perfect man, which we all know there is no such thing.
We've got him.
That's right. We have the only two. We have the only two that were ever on the market. And Gerard Butler has a TV show also, but he's like crude. It's like what men want. He knows everything that a man wants. And she winds up befriending him and saying to him, "Ooh, maybe you could help me. Tell me, you know what a man wants. Maybe you could help me find the perfect gentleman." So they go about that. My only objection to this movie is it has really bad language. Some of the words, they go over your head. But this is really, really above and beyond offensive. So that's the only thing I'd say to watch out for. But without that, it would be a great love story. So again, the title is The Ugly Truth.
Well, we go from love to crime. This is British, and it's basically about an Irish cop, Mike Walker. And he's very feisty, he's angry, he's an alcoholic who's on the wagon and off the wagon. It's called Trial and Retribution. There are many seasons, and in fact we just got set 3, so we have all 3 seasons up to date. And when Mike is drinking, he's nasty, but he's also a very good cop. In the first couple, he meets and marries a co-worker, Pat. Her name is Pat North. It's an uneasy marriage right from the beginning, and just things happen that cause them to split a baby, and that she loses the baby. So there's 2 things going on. There's always a crime, a murder, that has to be solved, and then there's their personal lives, which are interwoven throughout the crime. It's not something I can tell you, it's this story or that story. It's just this gritty British mystery. If you like that kind of thing, Trial and Retribution is really on the money. And in fact, I just got finished watching season 3, and to me it was the best yet. It kept you riveted. There's a new character, Roisin Connor. She's not dating Mike. They have a different kind of relationship. And the storylines are always gritty and interesting. And I just can't stop watching them. So that's Trial and Retribution, and we have the 3 seasons.
I've never seen it.
It's
So I'll try
excellent.
it.
It's really excellent.
My next movie is The Breakup. It stars Jennifer Aniston and Vince Vaughn. When she was making this movie, she and Brad Pitt had just broken up. I have
Right,
all
she
sorts of
started to
Hollywood
date him,
stories,
right?
and she started dating
Right.
her co-star. They're not going together anymore
No.
because she's dating Gerard Butler, as I said in The Ugly Truth. This story, it starts out where they are already a couple. They seem to be happily married. They're not married, but they seem to be happy living together. And then there's little cracks in the relationship starts. She's having dinner for her family and his family combined. She asks him to bring home lemons, a dozen lemons, because she wanted to make a centerpiece. He brings home 3. So it takes off from there. The lemons are not actually the issue. The issue is that he never does what she asks, and he should be doing things that she shouldn't have to ask for. He should know to do them. This happens in every woman's life, every woman that's in any kind of relationship.
That's right.
The sad part is you see the breakdown of a relationship. They wind up arguing. She has had enough now because he doesn't actually get her. After living together for 2 years, he doesn't get her, and she says, "That's enough." It comes to a point where I'm saturated, so she wanted out. But they had a townhouse together, and the apartment was beautiful. So she stayed in the bedroom. He wound up sleeping on the couch. She started dating people. He'd see them coming in. By the time he realizes that he wants her back, anything could happen. So
Gee, it
come
sounds
in
like
and
Friends,
see.
doesn't it?
Yes, come in and see The Breakup. Check it out. It's a good story. It's sad. It's funny. It's a good story. Come in and see it.
Okay. I'm going back to British mystery, but this time it's more of a light mystery. There are crimes to be solved, but this has an odd twist. Henry Crabb is the main character, and he's a policeman who wants to retire. But his last crime-fighting spree, in that he lets the bad guy get free.
Oh.
Now, his superior is somebody who he had started on the force with, and they were kind of the other guy was in his competition with him. He never was in competition, but the other guy rose above him and needs him because the guy who's above him, his ex-friend, if you will, is not a good cop and can't solve crimes, but Henry can. Now, what Henry really wants to do is start a restaurant because he loves to eat and he loves to cook and he's good at it. So he decides he's going to retire, but his friend won't let him and dangles this misstep that he made at the very end of his career in front of him saying, I'll expose you. So it's sort of, what happens is he opens his restaurant, which is called Pie in the Sky, which is
Okay.
the name of this DVD. Yeah, this is series 1. Series 2 is out there waiting. And so he runs his restaurant and solves the crime. But the fun part about it is, and what I like best is, he talks about food, and you see him cooking food, and he talks about recipes, and you want to go to his restaurant because you know it's got to be the best restaurant. But he's always being pulled away from the restaurant to solve a crime. It's not just about crime, it's about food. And so if you like recipes and watching the Food Channel, you will like this Pie in the Sky.
Just what we need, another excuse to think about food. And what do you have to do to see
I don't
these
know
movies?
where you'd get this. Where would you get this, Carol?
I'm thinking you got to come into the Monroe Free Library and
Check it out.